Hospitals in the national capital continue to struggle with this oxygen crisis. The prestigious All India Institute of Medical Sciences has raised an alarm saying it's not taking any new patients because of a shortage both of oxygen and beds. The Jaipur Golden Hospital has informed the Delhi High Court 25 people died due to oxygen shortage. Jaipur Golden Hospital has now received a fresh supply of oxygen, but hospital authorities claim that of the 1500 litres of oxygen that they sought, the supply is not enough. Several hospitals have flagged this crisis of oxygen supply. They say there's a shortage of beds, there's a shortage of medicines, and there's now a shortage of oxygen. And they've approached the Delhi High Court to intervene. Taking cognizance of the matter, the Delhi High Court instructed the centre to ensure that 480 metric tons of oxygen is supplied to Delhi. The Delhi High Court also said that if anyone obstructs the supply of oxygen anywhere, they will hang the man, indicating that strict action will be taken against anyone who creates trouble. India Today's Tanushri Pandey gets us this report.
We are at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in the national capital, and there is an acute shortage of oxygen being felt in the national capital, which is a reality, but it's getting worse by the day. And the situation is such that even an institute like All India Institute of Medical Sciences had to restrict admissions in the emergency services because there was an overload of patients and the oxygen pipelines had to be reorganized. We have got a statement from the AIIMS. And they have to say that the admissions in the emergency were restricted for an hour as the oxygen pipelines were being reorganized due to an increased requirement of oxygen for COVID-19 patients. Currently, AIIMS has 100 coronavirus infected patients who are receiving treatment. This is in addition to more than 800 patients who are already admitted at various centers of AIIMS. So right now the admissions are open and emergency department is very much functional. So you can get an idea of the intensity of the situation in the national capital, that even an institute, a hospital like All India Institute of Medical Sciences are feeling an overload of patients, and due to the acute shortage of oxygen, they had to stop taking patients for an hour in the emergency services because the pipelines had to be restored. So this is the situation where all the hospitals are extremely overwhelmed. They are overburdened up to the brim, and there is an acute shortage of oxygen which each and every hospital in Delhi is feeling. With camera person Sachin in the national capital, I'm Tanushri Pandey for India Today.
Some relief to know that at least hospital and AIIMS is now functioning and emergency is open once again. Delhi, of course, continues to struggle with this acute oxygen shortage. In the wake of this crisis, at least 4 hospitals have knocked at the doors of the Delhi High Court. They've sought police protection from the court, saying oxygen shortage may actually lead to a law and order problem. The court has directed the Delhi police to protect these hospitals. This comes after the court wrapped the centre over this oxygen crisis. The High Court asked the centre to set a date when Delhi will get 480 metric tons of oxygen. Asserting that Delhi has not received its promised quota, the High Court said, we cannot permit people to die. We cannot allow people to die like this. The centre responded saying 2 oxygen tankers have already reached Delhi. Others are en route. The defence forces are now at the forefront of this war on coronavirus. Indian Air Force has picked up 4 cryogenic oxygen containers from Singapore. Not just that, there are aircraft on standby to bring additional cryogenic tankers from the United Arab Emirates. The oxygen tankers from Singapore are expected to land in Panagarh later this evening. They will be taken to different parts where oxygen is required by road or rail. 8 empty cryogenic oxygen containers have been airlifted from Begumpet to Bhubaneswar in Odisha. Once again, C-17 Globemasters being used to deal with the ongoing COVID crisis. The Ministry of Defence has also sanctioned emergency financial powers to Armed Forces Medical Services to battle the surge. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, along with service chiefs, reviewed efforts by the Ministry of Defence and the Armed Forces to deal with the crisis. Doctors are repeatedly advising you to remain masked up, either wear an N95 or double mask. Unfortunately, citizens in several parts of the country are still not adhering to COVID norms, not following COVID appropriate behavior. And this is extremely serious because they're not just risking their lives, they're risking lives of their loved ones and others. Take a look at this report.
India is breaking all infamous records. The highest daily infections ever, making it the COVID epicenter of the world. Helping along in their own way are thousands of Covidiots spread across the country. They are ignorant of the catastrophe that has befallen the country, or choose to turn a blind eye to it. Meet a few of them. This is Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. The police are doing their duty, ensuring COVID norms such as masks and non-essential travel. They stop and question a group of violators roaming in the streets. Instead of cooperating, Covidiots enter into an argument. The police have filed an FIR against them. In another incident, a shopkeeper was beaten up by his customers in Rajasthan's Bharatpur. All he did was ask them to mask up. The tide soon turned against the assailants. They tried to flee but were soon outnumbered. The attackers were caught and handed over to the police.
मास्क नहीं लगा रखा था इन्होंने मैंने बोला भैया मास्क लगा लो मैं कपड़े नहीं दे पाऊंगा मुझे गलत तो नहीं बोला मैंने एनसीसी वाले टूटे चार मेरा भी काटेंगे इसका भी काटेंगे आपा से हाथ उठा दिया इसने उल्टा सीधा बोला मैंने सिर्फ ये बोला कि भैया मैं कपड़े नहीं दे पाऊंगा तो मास्क नहीं लगाओगे तो अरे तू तो मुझे बहस कर रहा है ये हुआ चढ़ने लग गया
दुकान है उस पे 2-3 ग्राहक आए थे तो उनके पास में मास्क नहीं था साफी वगैरह थी तो दुकानदार ने कहा भाई प्रॉपर मास्क लगा के आए तो इसी बात पर उन्होंने आपस में कहासुनी हो गई दुकानदार ज़्यादा थे लड़के थे कम थे तो वो भागे तो मैंने फिर एनसीसी कैडेट को भगा के उस लड़के को पकड़ा.
With India's fight against COVID getting tougher by the day, these Covidiots can't be given a free run. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.